Hi, my name is Krazyblaze, and this is a bit of a crash course on how to be a street performer. Now, please keep in mind that I don't have all the answers, and basically nobody will have all the answers for you. What I suggest is take what I say, take what everybody else says, and put it all into something of your own creation. Okay, because what works really good for somebody won't work for you. Okay, you need to find what works out of all different people, and see what works for you. So I'm going to give you a bit of a crash course on what all the different tools, all the different things which I've used and I've learned throughout my career to be an international performer. So I'm going to run you through a few things which I think are very important as a street performer, okay? Because it is quite different to doing stage shows and this type of thing. With a stage show, you go out on stage, you become somebody else, like a character or this type of thing, and you don't really engage with the audience, okay? Street performing, if you do this, it's kind of doomed to fail, okay? You kind of can't be a character per se, okay? The only character, I guess, that I suggest you kind of be is a character of the best part of you, okay? Because you know you're obviously never the in the best mood every day, but create a character which is actually you, but the best part of you every day. Here's a few things. They're not in order at all, but I'm just going to run you through all like some tips, I guess. So the first thing, be yourself. Okay, like I said, with stage shows, you don't have to interact. Where with street, you really have to interact with the crowd, get them to know you. If they don't know you, they don't pay you, or they don't pay you very well. Okay, they're not going to pay you because you're really good at your tricks or your skills. Okay, they're going to give you money, but not what you could be worth. The way you get money out of people, the way you become a good street performer, is by getting people to really like you and initially to love you, okay, and then they kind of want to see you go further and keep doing what you're doing. So this is what they're going to pay, okay, not your absolute amazing skills and all of this. This is just part of the show, okay. But like I said, the key point is getting people to like you, okay? Don't go on the street and be like shit to people and swear at people. Definitely never swear at people. Don't make fun of people. Make them feel good, okay? Your job as a performer in general is to perform and make people feel like they're having a good time, okay? This is the biggest goal that I have as a street performer. You get people walking past your show and they're kind of a bit down and out, they've been at work or they're stressed for life, and by the end of the show, your job is to, one, keep them there for the whole show, which is a job within itself, and two, for them to leave going, oh my god, that was amazing, and be inspired and leave with a big happy smile on their face. So if you've got that inside your heart, above money, you're gonna go far, okay? Because money, yes, you need, and we're doing this so we can make a living out of it, but have more. You want to be able to put on a good show for people and make people happy. This is what will transpire into people, and people will see this subconsciously. So another thing, have a good speaker, okay? Get a nice costume, look professional in what you're doing, okay? Because it's because you are working the streets, and depending on where you are, people aren't really used to street performing, okay? They really put it in this sort of way of begging, okay? So you need to rise above being a beggar, because like I said, if they just think you're a beggar, they're going to give you 10 cents, 20 cents. So if you make yourself look professional, have a good speaker, spend the money to make money, okay? Because if you have a good speaker, it's not ear deafening to people, and it's got good sound. If you're doing a performance-based show, I suggest something with a high bass. You've got the Bose, sorry. If you want to go the step up a bit further, you've got the Eon 1 Pro. If you're more of a talk show, you could get away with something without so much bass, and probably doesn't need to be quite as good. But if you're going to be playing a lot of music, a lot of bassy type music, I suggest spending the money on one of those products. So another really good thing to use is a microphone. Okay, people can't hear you, understand you. It's hard to get your point across, and it doesn't make you look very professional at all. If you're only new, I suggest at least a hand mic with a 6-meter cord to it, okay, or a wireless sort of microphone. I do recommend getting a headset, okay. The best ones that I know of are the Sennheisers. They're really good quality. There is a lot of different ones out there, but yet again, spend the money to make money. So don't go for cheap stuff, because you end up having problem with radio frequencies and all this kind of stuff. And don't be too loud. Okay, a lot of people get out there, blast their music, thinking that they're doing a good thing. All you're going to do is annoy all the local people that live upstairs or whatever, because usually you're playing in old towns, or you're playing around where people live. Some people live, or there's shops as well. So you want to be able to be loud enough to get your point across, so people want to stop, but not ear piercing. And that comes down to having a good speaker too, because you can not be so loud but have the quality there. So another thing I recommend, being a master of your art before you go to the street. Okay, that's not to say be a good performer, no. Okay, you can be a really shit performer and go to the street. But for me, for example, I'm a fire performer. I really mastered the art of my props and what I do before I went to the street. Okay, especially with fire, because if you don't, you can really hurt somebody. Okay, and especially a lot of other props. If you're juggling balls, this is a different story. Okay, go to the street. If you're doing something super safe, not a problem in the world. But a lot of things, when you're juggling, when you're up on balancing things, and you're getting people to help you out with juggling knives and all this other fancy stuff, really know what you're doing before you involve audience and you go down this sort of road. Okay, but like I said, if you're not a good performer per se, get out there on the street. A good tip, I don't really use it so much. You don't need it per se, but it does kind of help, is height. If you can start off on the ground, dragging people in, being community, being part of all of them, and by the end of your show, you could be up on some sort of high platform and do your finale, something like this. It can help. If you get big crowds, part of your show, if you know mainly this is more of a festival type thing than more of a street thing, but if you know you're going to get a big crowd, spread your crowd out for one. Okay, make it a big stage, okay, and walk around. Don't just stand in the middle of this stage. If you've got a big stage, go over to people, be interactive. Another thing, if you start getting 7-10 deep, and what I mean by that is 7-10 rows of people back, right, by the 10th row they can't see anything. So what you're best off doing is getting the first few rows to sit down. Sometimes you'll get a bit of the older people at the front, go, look, it's okay if you don't want to sit down, just move back a little bit, get at the younger crowds to sort of more so come forward and sit down. Okay, because then the more you get people to sit down at the front, the more people can see, the more you're going to get paid. When you're starting out, I wouldn't say use a circle. Go up against a wall or something like this and do more of a D shape. Okay, you speak against the wall, and so you're like this, and you can see here, and engage with not just the front, sides to sides. Okay, once you get good at that, go more away from the wall and engage, boom, 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 and around. This is a really cool thing to do. Really, you can obviously get more people in, more paid. Especially with street, with permits and all this, they want you to have a a rope line. So obviously have a rope line. You use this in your crowd build. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So yeah, first when you first start off, use a rope. Then if you don't want to carry a big rope around with you, because it can be a bit of a pain in the butt carrying a rope around and doing and setting it out. I found using chalk better. I got a lot of friends which use a bit of water, like put a little hole in the top of the water and spray the water around. Chalk works really good. Don't go around and mark your whole stage with chalk, because one, like even though it will go away, if you're working the pitch with other people, you've got a massive big chalk line there, and they want to set up their stage a bit differently. It makes it hard for them. So, and you don't need this, okay? It's a psychological thing. The water, the chalk, it's just psychological to the people, okay? So, but it does help when you're first starting out. So I just go up and put a line like this, boom. Hey, can you come up to this line? It's like I said, a subconscious thing. Then you go over a bit further. Hey, can you come up to this line? And I need to create like a safety barrier so people don't walk in. That's a good trick. Okay. Basically now all I do is I use the people. Like you don't be too upfront straight away. Just hey, how you doing? Set up what you're doing, and then use the audience to come up to your line and create your D, create your circle this way. A good way, like if people are very shy to come up, stand where you want them to stand, right? And go, come on, high five me, right? I don't know why, but I can get old grandmas, I can get anybody, any walk of life to come up and wanna, it's like a subconscious thing, they'll wanna, yeah, like come on, like you just be a bit charming with it, and everyone will come up and high five you. By the time they high five you, you're there where you want them to be. So it's a cool little trick which I've learned. So when you're working the street, buskers are usually pretty good and pretty humble people, because you kind of can't make it as a street performer if you've got a chip on your shoulder, all this. You just don't make money. You need to be a humble person as a street performer, because people can see through it and won't pay you. So 99% of the time, people are very, very good on the street, but you have to communicate with them, have to work with them. Usually there's rules in place. If you're going to any good pitch, any good spot, there's rules and the way they do it, and it is quite different depending on where you are. I'm not going to go into exactly different rules, but when you go to a pitch, you go talk to the artists and they'll tell you the way it all works, okay? Sometimes you might not be able to busk there that day, okay, because there's a draw in the morning, all this type of thing. So just be fair, go, okay, no problem, I'll be back tomorrow, and I'll line up and I'll go in the draw, like hat draw or whatever, and just be nice and respectful of the laws and what they've created, the system that they've created to make it work for that town. Usually you get about a 45-minute to a 1-hour slot, like a time frame. Also check with the city councils, anything like this, the city, whatever you want to call it in your country or that country. See if there's a permit you need. In most places you can kind of get away with, like if you're drifting through, in a lot of places you can just go there, find a good pitch. If nobody's working it, like if people are working it, go and talk to them, see if there's a permit you need and all this kind of stuff. But if no one's working it, 99% of the time you can go and work it, and if for any reason you're not allowed to work it, like the police come up to you, they'll give you a warning first. They'll go, look, you're not allowed to work here, there's a permit, there's this you got to do, or this, or just not, you're not allowed permanently. And 9 times out of 10 they'll just usher you away and just don't go back, okay, or do what they ask you to do. Some places that I have heard where they'll take your equipment, like Vienna, don't bust there. They are so bad. They'll take your equipment, your speaker straight away. Okay, so don't bust there. But there is places like this around the world ask buskers, get part of the network, and they'll be able to tell you these sort of places. Yeah, some places could have just simple rules of no amplification, so no speaker, or no fire. There is a lot of, like Dam Square is one where it's a very good pitch, but you can't use amplification, and you can't use fire. So that rules me out. I recommend, if you don't have fire, trying it out. Like, once you actually got a show together, try and do a show in a place where you can't use your speaker. It'll make you a better performer. I've done this. I've done a couple of festivals where they won't let you use a speaker. I mean, I could definitely do fire, and I've actually done spots where I couldn't even use fire. It's quite interesting. Get out of your comfort zone. Learn. This is how it all works. So I hope that really helped. That were just sort of pointers. Things which I think could help you out. So guys, that's the end of part 1. If you really like it, stay tuned for the next one. You'll probably see it up in the corner here. If you like what you see and you'd like to see more, please comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed anything. Really hope you enjoyed this video and it was helpful to you. Till next time, enjoy.